Greetings of the day. Today we are going to discuss about software engineering. So today we will go with the introduction part about software engineering. So let us go with a simple framing of a sentences regarding what is software engineering. Software engineering is all about different framework activities involved in developing a software. So in simple to frame the clear meaning of software engineering, it is nothing but instruction plus data structures plus documentation. So combination of these three is nothing but the software engineering. The first part was instruction, and the second part was data structure, and the third part was documentation. So without using these concepts of software engineering, one can build a software, but there are few lacking things which might be required so in developing a particular software. So without using the software engineering concepts defined by Software Engineering Institute, you can develop a software, but you are unable to measure the metrics of that particular software in a proper way. Means, so how much cost it is going to take to develop a software, how much time and efforts required to develop that particular software, you are unable to identify. And the next one is by what standards you are going to develop this software product. So these three are going to be a confusion for the software developer if at all they are following the concepts called software engineering. So software engineering is all about the framework activities, comes with the different types of models for different types of projects. So there are n number of models defined by the Software Engineering Institute for different types of projects. So all projects are not going to be the similar. So for banking projects, different types of approachings has to be defined, and for different business organizations, different types of models has to be defined and been developed. So depends on the type of requirements of the particular software, the type of models are being selected electively. So in this how a software engineering models are going to be helpful for the developers, for the software engineering institutes for developing their softwares. In simple to understand, what is a software means, software is all about different people working together for developing a software. There are a number of people who are going to work for that particular software. Like, so one person is not going to work for the software. One might be taking care of the analysis part, means he might be the analyst in understanding the requirements of the software, and one will be the professional in designing the software according to the analysis done by the analyst, and another will be involving, he is a professional in developing or coding a software, and one will be the effectively one is going to take care of the testing of that software, and finally there are a number of people who are going to maintain that particular software. So in this how software is all about collection of modules, so n number of modules combined together, then it is going to be the complete project or a product. So for completing of this project, there are n number of people who are going to work for that particular software for a particular period of time defined during the defined during the selection of that particular model. So analyst is the person who is required. Analysts are the people who are going to be required for analyzing the particular project. So they are going to interact with the customers in getting the information required to develop that particular software regarding it might be like, so what are the basic operations they want to perform, how the software has to be, so what each software should do. So all these requirements being taken from the customer, and this analyst is going to analyze the things, and finally after analyzing the things, it is being handed over to the designing team, where the designing people are going to design so the software accordingly, which module should come first, which should be second, third, fourth, in such a way how many modules required. So these many modules are being defined. So once the designer defined the designing strategies, the next the designer is going to hand over that project to the developer. So here the developer is a person who is going to take care of developing that particular software, means he is going to write a code for that particular software program. So once the developer completed with his programming of a software, this will be handed over to the testing team, where the testing people are going to test that particular software. So why are they going to test means simple, the testing team is going to measure, they are going to measure how the software is working. So without this testing team, if you can directly hand over that particular project to the customer, if at all any problems arise, so the customer will be dissatisfied. So what these people are going to do, so there will be a testing team who are going to test with different types of testing techniques. So finally why they are testing that project means because they want to give the best quality of software to their end user, so that the next future of the business will depends on the customer satisfaction. So the testing team is going to test in different test cases with the different testing techniques how effectively the project was working, and finally this testing product will be hand over to the customers, and the maintenance team is going to help in the back end. So the supporting team is going to support this particular software, where we can call it as a maintenance team. So in this how people are going to involve in developing this particular software. So in the next class we will go across different models, so one by one. So the first model that we will look into is the CMMI. Okay, all the best. Today is the